You said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I called the National Guard at 17,
proud of his service of riding his bike around the neighborhood.
Yes,
and then
great.
I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball
After you were
teams,
compromised,
we'd take
you came back
baseball
home and
teams,
started
we would
dragging
take
other
dancers,
kids over there.
and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect.
The
question! I'm a knucklehead at
He's a
times,
knucklehead.
but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years.
Dumbass.
And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there,
rhetoric
the
is
impact
now a
it made,
synonym for
the
lies.
difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be
He's not compromised
praising
like you,
Xi
bro.
Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Yeah, but why'd you lie
just
about
to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I said.
There's more.
So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Oh, wait, you learned governance from communist China? Oh, that's refreshing.
What?
I'm glad they left him hanging. They just left it quiet.
I have never seen in a debate ever a host or a moderator say, "Sir, you have 23 seconds left. Would you?" I've never seen that. It was so great. Oh, so great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
sucks.
I was pretty confident he was going to crash and burn in this debate, but I think he crashed and burned harder than even I thought he would.
Al, can you please be gentle on use of the phrase crash and burn? I mean, when I was on the moon back in '69,
right?
We were afraid we were going to crash and burn.
You were on the moon in '69 at 7 years old.
69.
Okay.
At what?
5 years old? Was it 5?
Yeah, I was 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years old.
But
you were on the moon.
I was on the moon because I was small. I could fit in.
How do you explain the discrepancy there?
A lot of people say that 5-year-olds have no.
A lot of people say a lot of things,
ever been
and sometimes I say things, but I'm a knucklehead. And
did you misspeak?
I might have missed.
Yeah,
I do from time to time, but people know me.
Yes,
they know me.
People know you,
and so when I sometimes. am talking to farmers or riding my bike in my small town. They understand who I am.
Well, thank you for your service of riding your bike, by the way.
I took that service seriously, almost as seriously as when I was going into war as a soldier.
Yeah, no kidding.
Carrying the gun?
Carrying the gun. I was in Vietnam. I was in Vietnam.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, early on in Vietnam. Very early on. But I take my service in in the jungles of Nam. Very
Seriously?
Very seriously. Very seriously. But that's what got me to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
You know?
but can you? Okay.
Wait, your service in Vietnam after?
Yeah, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah.
Don't. What do you? Don't.
What?
So did you serve in Nam before the moon?
Yeah, I was very early in Nam.
Very,
Very
You were
early.
5 when you went to the moon.
Yes. I was 2
Did you get
when I went
drafted
to Nam.
at the age of 2? What
I was 2. No, I volunteered.
No.
I love my country, unlike you, sir.
It is this bad.
Oh, it is.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
But let's not let that detract to what I learned when I was at the Cultural Revolution with Mao.
Oh my gosh!
okay,
right?
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
I learned a lot
72.
about-
So I had been to the
Right.
moon. I'd been to Vietnam, but I learned a lot
About government?
About government.
Governance.
You know,
Governance.
and I think if more politicians would have been there at the Cultural Revolution, they'd know how to govern a little bit better.
Yes.
We get things done a lot faster in this country.
Oh my God.
If we
Yes,
just had
we
more
would.
people learn from the communist
Thank you.
Chinese.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who's with me on
Thank
that?
you.
Right, I'm with you, and
mean,
I'm
we don't have
cashing
to-
those checks.
We don't have to take
so
a-
to speak.
There's
I'm-
no votes to take.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody
No.
just decides.
No, somebody decides, and then
And then you do it.
Yeah.
So that happens quickly. Like it takes a day in China. Sometimes it takes months or years here.
Yeah.
It's just, it's
I mean,
bad.
it must be,
bad.
honestly because of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's
man.
dangerous. We
Dangerous.
have to stop. We used to have 3 sources of information.
Okay.
And when we had 3 sources of information, our CIA could infiltrate and make sure that we were all in line.
Right.
And
right.
we could get things done.
I like
but
that.
then
But
you got,
now-
you got that
Right
First
now.
Amendment
Now
blocking
you got that First Amendment thing. I mean, it was
It's
cute.
a real block.
We got to get
that
people
First
back
Amendment.
to believing that the Constitution matters to us here in the government when it clearly doesn't.